Hey guys, first off, Happy New Year, Happy 2013. I am T Money Miller, the host from GroundRuleRadio.com. Gonna make this the year of Ground Rule Radio, the year of T Money, and bring you a lot of quality entertainment. I'm gonna continue get back in the fold of giving you some great sports topics, some great sports opinions, getting into topics and discussions that I have on a daily basis, bringing them to you, my opinions, but also being interactive. What other show gives you the opportunity to get your thoughts out there? We have forums at groundruleradio.com to discuss daily topics. You can discuss any news topics as well on Twitter. I'll get to that in a second. Today, my major focus, it's been something I wanted to get to in the last few days, has been the big topic, if you will, around the Philadelphia area. And that is hashtag farewell Andy, if you can see it. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at TimMoneyMiller. Farewell Andy is the hashtag, and sorry, it's on the back of an index card. You want to pay for the budget for the show, feel free, but for now, we're using pure index cards. Andy Reid is gone. And it's a few days later, and it looks like he's going to find a home already. I'm not taking anything against the record that Andy Reid has had as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, his success in the playoffs in the early to mid 2000s, along with Donovan McNabb. Not taking anything away, and I'm not here to disrespect Andy Reid or to really step on his face and kick him out the door on the way out. But I can still be ecstatic that Andy Reid is gone, without it being on a personal level. I'm ecstatic as a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles franchise, a team that has never won a Super Bowl, that after 14 seasons of Andy Reid, we knew what we were getting with him. It was successful. You were getting a guy who's going to be at least 500 most of the years, except for this past year, of course. You were getting that. You knew what you were getting with his time management. Unfortunately, the last 3 years wasn't what we expected. Be careful what you wish for is what I kept hearing in regards to losing Andy Reid as a head coach. Well, we went from 10 wins 3 years ago to 8 wins 2 years ago and 4 wins in 2012. I'm sorry, but I did not wish for 4 wins in 2012 and to be in the hole that we're in now. So I am ecstatic that we're having a change of scenery as a team, that getting a new focal point, a new headpiece for this franchise, which is a necessary need. Andy Reid, not only as the head coach, but personnel decisions. These are the players that he picked. You can't blame the head coach for everything. Ultimately, it's what the players do on the field. But these are players that Andy Reid chose to be a member of this franchise. Whether it was taking the shot of Michael Vick being the starting quarterback, which didn't work out. Nnamdi Asomugha, some of these picks, Danny Watkins, some of these dreadful picks that Andy brought to this team. So I'm not here to, celebrate and get the kazoos out and the streamers and the balloons, which usually in a farewell party we need. I'm not here to celebrate somebody on the unemployment line because it's a huge problem throughout the nation. Why am I going to celebrate that for anybody? But as a fan who pays for tickets to go to these games, who buys merchandise and clothing, who has people over every Sunday, even with a 4-12 record, every Sunday has people over, where we buy food, buy beer, buy soda, and have people over to watch that game and dedicate 3 hours on a weekly basis to this team. I'm allowed to be ecstatic. I'm allowed to be excited and all in all happy that Andy Reid has been relieved of his duties as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. It is certainly time for a change. We are in a very steep hole, and he is a major reason that we are in that hole. Another big topic that has been going on, and I'm going to try to keep these shows about the 10-minute mark. I know you have a lot of things going on. Everybody does. A lot of time dedicated to other things, family, friends, work, home, all that stuff. For giving me 10 minutes on a daily basis, or how often I can get the show up, I really do appreciate you giving me the time. The other thing about Andy Reid that's been thrown around the last few days, and this is thanks to Adam Schefter, and I'm not criticizing his thought process, nor am I going to criticize you for your thought process, but I'm going to give my honest opinion. Adam Schefter and some Eagles fans claim Andy Reid to be legendary. Philadelphia-wise, for the most part. But when you think of legendary, to me, I don't think Andy Reid is in that realm. I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't a good coach. I'm not going to argue with you if you want to say he's a great coach. But legendary is reserved for legends. It is reserved for, if you think of head coaches, you think of the Phil Jacksons. You think of the Roy Williams, Coach K. You think of John Wooden. You think of, in my opinion, Bill Belichick. You think of Bill Walsh. I do not think legendary when I think a guy 14 seasons, had an over 500 record. That's good to me. It's 10-9 in the playoffs. No Super Bowls. Now, I'm not here to say that you need to have a Super Bowl to be legendary. Because look at Brian Billick. I don't consider him legendary. I don't think Mike McCarthy is legendary. But they have Super Bowls to their credits. There's a lot more that goes into that resume, and you don't need a Super Bowl to be legendary. An example, Dan Marino. So it's not really on the resume what makes you legendary. It's the impact that you leave. It is the emotions. It is people who look up to you as maybe a hero, as an iconic figure in the world of sports and the world in general. You have to be iconic and leave some sort of emotion, some sort of presence with the people. And to me, honestly, I can't say that Andy Reid is legendary. Is Buddy Ryan legendary? Is Dick Vermeil legendary? Charlie Manuel, in less time, has won a championship for this city, who have been drained by lack of championships. He's not legendary, in my opinion. They all have had their flaws. Is Donovan McNabb legendary? No, and I'm a McNabb apologist. I'm a guy who loves McNabb, and I understand, and I really do agree with some of the points that you have out there on why not to like it, Donovan McNabb. Again, he is the best quarterback in our franchise's history. Just like Andy Reid is the best head coach in our franchise's history. But being better than the mediocre that came before you, in my opinion, does not make you legendary. Multiple championships, in my opinion, and like I said, being an iconic figure who left a presence with somebody. When a coach comes in here and wins a Super Bowl, I'm sorry to say it, but I will forget about Andy Reid. I won't forget about everything he did, but the whole goal in the NFL for all 32 teams is to win a championship. And for 14 seasons, Andy Reid was unable to do so. That is not legendary, in my opinion. Being over 500 is not legendary, in my opinion, for 14 seasons. It's great, and it's good and great and all that stuff, but legendary is reserved for a higher iconic stature. And so I'm sorry, but Andy Reid is nowhere near there. You don't need a championship to be iconic and legendary. You can do it without it. You don't need that championship. But Andy Reid still, in my opinion, is not at that level. So what happens here? We know Andy Reid more than likely here. It's imminent from what we've heard. He's going to sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. First overall pick. Get that quarterback to mold that he wants in his own way. That's great for Andy Reid. There is some talent in Kansas City with Jamal Charles. The defense, even though it hasn't been great, has some talent with guys like Brandon Flowers, with Eric Berry, with Derek Johnson, one of the most underrated linebackers on the team, with Tamba Ali, with Glenn Dorsey. There's some talent there in comparison to the Arizona Cardinals. I think it's a good move for them. So that's the direction he's going to go in. Best of luck in either Arizona, best of luck in either Kansas City. Whichever one you go to, best of luck. What's going to happen here? Well, we know Bill O'Brien interviewed here. He's going to go back to Penn State. Chip Kelly interviewed with Cleveland. He's going to interview with Buffalo. Is he going to end up here? Is Mike McCoy, the defensive coordinator from Denver, is he going to end up here? I'm okay with that. Is Lovie Smith from Chicago, Bruce Arians, The Chicago is interviewing him. What a great job he did with the Indianapolis Colts this year in Chuck Pagano's absence. There are lots of options, and I'd be okay with a broomstick coaching this team. There is something that needed to change. It's not the person to me. And yes, we may not get that coach that could live up to what Andy Reid did here right off the bat. We may not get that guy. We may not get the Tony Dungy to John Gruden treatment. We may not get the Mike Singletary to Jim Harbaugh treatment here. But then there's that example that we might just get that. And who would have known 14 seasons ago that a quarterbacks coach from the Green Bay Packers would be a legendary coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, the best coach in their franchise's history. So as much as you want to tell me that there is a strong possibility that there is not going to be a coach to live up to Andy Reid's tenure, which more than likely, in my opinion, I can agree with, but you still can't rule out that small percentage that what happens if we get a guy to come in here and win a Super Bowl. That is the ultimate goal at the end of the day, whether you're a player on the team, the head coach of the team, the president, CEO, general manager, or a fan of the franchise. That is the ultimate goal, is a championship. No disrespect to what Andy Reid did in the city. He was fine coach in this city. But we are starving for a championship. And after 14 seasons, especially 3 where we are on the decline, and really we're in the gutter right now, and after a 4-win season with 3 teams on the last day of the season fighting for the NFC East that didn't include us, the last team standing, things needed to change. And Reid being gone, farewell to Andy to me. It was time for a change. Hopefully you enjoyed the first show here, this farewell Andy rant, if you will. The next couple days, we're going to get into more topics. I want to talk about things that you want to hear. I said earlier, I'm on Twitter at TimMoneyMiller. We have the forums open as well, like roundruleradio.com. Definitely check those out. Very excited. 40 days until spring training. Well, 40 days until pitchers and catchers report, excuse me. Very excited about that. As you can see, I can't wait for the Philly season after what happened in 2012 with the Philadelphia Eagles. We have no Flyers. The Sixers are on again, off again team. We're still waiting what Andrew Bynum going to come and play. Let's wait and see what happens. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to run the gauntlet. It's going to be fun. We're going to have 10 Eagles players. We're going to pick them out. We have the spinner, that they do the lottery with. Well, not really. I have a hat that I cut pieces of paper out with the names on them, and I'm going to pick them out. And we're going to talk about the players on the Eagles and where do they go from here. Who do you keep? And I can tell you, I'm already set. I'm fired up on one of the guys that I can't wait to talk about. I'm very fired up as this guy robbed this team without using a gun. It was very sad to see for a lot of money. Very unfortunate. So we're getting that tomorrow. Got some great topics coming up. I can't wait to see what happens, what conversations I get into. I want to conversate with you, whether it's on the forum, whether it's on Twitter. Hit me up. Let me know. If you want to let me know players that you want me to discuss on tomorrow's show, send me a tweet at TimMoneyMiller with the hashtag BirdsOverhaul. Who are the players you want me to discuss? You can do it in the forum as well. I'm going to open up a topic in there. So thank you for your time. Again, have a safe, happy, and healthy 2013. I appreciate your time. I'm Tim T. Money Miller from GroundRuleRadio.com. Peace.